the thought occurs to me that a lot of the things that I'm going to say in this review more than likely are going to be defeated by the term, "It's SpongeBob, your argument is invalid, it's harmless fun." But that's not going to stop me. See, a lot of you guys have requested that I take a look at the SpongeBob movie, and I'm not really a huge fan of it. But, you know, it's at least worth checking out because the first movie wasn't too bad. So, yeah, fair warning. 1, spoilers. 2, I don't have a lot of good things to say about this. Let's take a look. Greetings, every peoples. This is your cult personality, ToonKriticY2K's. The name Tunes are the name of my game. The SpongeBob movie 2, I guess. Sponge out of water. Okay. As I've said before, I'm not a big SpongeBob fan. I used to watch it a little bit when I was younger. I watched like 1 or 2 episodes when it was, I guess, airing. I also watched a few of the DVDs from Blockbuster because I was bored. And I didn't really like it then. Definitely don't like it as much as I used to, which really isn't saying much, but SpongeBob has always been one of those series that I've looked at, and I can acknowledge that it has its good moments, but a lot of the time it has lots of misses. Hit to miss ratio is very off with this. And if you want to see how exactly bad it is, you can take a look at Mysterious Mr. Enter's obsession over it. But for me, I never dug too much into SpongeBob, and I really don't plan to. But when I found out they were making a movie for the first time, I thought that was cool. I liked it, you know, for what it was. But then I heard they were making a second one. And, well, to be fair, I was a little interested to see where they were going with it after the initial trailer. But everything after that, not so much. Oh, excuse me. I'm still kind of waking up. But I owe this to you guys because I know a lot of you are going to want to see what my thoughts are on it anyway. So, what's the story of it this time? Well, in the first one, I believe King Neptune's crown gets taken away, and SpongeBob has like X amount of time to get it back through shenanigans and stuff. That at least had a coherent plot. In this, Plankton tries to get his hands on the Krabby Patty formula and somewhat succeeds until, for some odd reason, the formula just vanishes. And we find out that in the real world, this dude named Burger Beard. So we have Redbeard, Bloodbeard, Blackbeard, fucking Flamey Beard from Adventures of Monkey Island, and Burger Beard, played by Antonio Banderas, who gets his hands on this magical book that apparently talks about SpongeBob and stuff, and he gets to the end, and he decides to rewrite it or something and say, hey, guess what, Krabby Patty formula, it's so good. They emphasize the whole Krabby Patty secret formula thing. And you know what? I was kind of curious to see, are we going to finally know what the secret formula is? Nope. No, not at all. So that answers that question. But he takes the formula for himself, rewrites a lot of things that happens in the SpongeBob story, and decides that his big ultimate goal is to create the ultimate food truck, and the Krabby Patty will be like the greatest thing ever. I wonder, actually, if somebody's really made a Krabby Patty, like, in real life. I know they have, like, a SpongeBob restaurant, like, somewhere overseas, but is it really that good? I highly doubt it. But, yeah, that's the story. So SpongeBob has to gather up his friends, and, yeah. There's where you get the poster. Now, I want to also say this. A majority of the trailers and posters and TV spots have focused directly on the live-action CGI stuff. Cool. That's going to be pretty interesting. I want to see where they go with this. It's the last 20 minutes of the movie. About 3/4 of the movie is built up on the cartoons. And then finally, at like the 20-minute or 25-minute mark or whatever, we finally get to the live action stuff. That's a little bit of false advertising because that tricks people to sit through almost an hour or so just to get to the live action CGI stuff. Now, you're spoiling the best part of the movie here. You could just watch the trailer and be like, yep, that's what happens. They saved the day. The trailers give away so much of what's going on. And it really doesn't leave much of a swerve. There is like one kind of swerve, but it's not really worth it, I think. Most of the movie is spent with SpongeBob and Plankton learning to work as a Tayam, or whatever Plankton messes up saying it. They build off of that for pretty much the majority of it. They build a time machine to try and go back and fix things. They end up really screwing things up, and basically, to sum all this up, it's one big SpongeBob episode, but with a slightly bigger budget. And you can definitely tell where a lot of that budget went to with the special effects, the acid tripping, time travel, Bubbles the dolphin guarding over the cosmos and giving them dolphin magic to put them in live-action CGI stuff. Which even then, it's not really worth it. What they did with the characters also, they made Sandy. Wow, see, it's been a while since I've seen SpongeBob. They make Sandy crazy and like all obsessed with the mysterious page, The End, which becomes a plot point later on. Squidward really does nothing, and Mr. Krabs doesn't do much either. Patrick, good God. I've always said that Patrick is the worst thing in SpongeBob. It cannot be better exemplified than here. He turns on SpongeBob and just becomes an idiot. Or an even bigger idiot than he is before. And that's just really disappointing to see. Although it's Patrick, first off, you can't really expect much from him. What else? I don't know why they had to introduce time travel into it, because it really it just stretched things out, and it made things really convoluted. Now, I realize that SpongeBob is pretty simple, but the way that everything just jumps around, it treats its audience like, oh, we can't focus on one thing at a time, let's just jump around and just make things interesting. Flash some stuff at the kiddies. Now, I also want to say that I think that kids these days, some of them have short attention spans, and some of them would prefer to just have something, quick and easy. But at the same time, even though that's, I think, the target demographic for SpongeBob is like people who have short attention spans, but the other people that, like SpongeBob and want to see it for themselves, they're going to be kind of disappointed because the story does not really seem to have a focus. There's a bunch of subplots going on in terms of, how do I say this? The subplots, I guess, are like what happens with SpongeBob and Plankton, and then what's going on with like Patrick and Mr. Krabs and like Burger Beard and all this other stuff. So I don't like the fact that this movie kind of just jumps around and treats its audience like, oh, you can't you can't pay attention? Well, guess what? We're not going to pay attention either, which is really disappointing too, I think. I think I've already made that clear. But is there anything I liked about this? Actually, yes. There is one thing. Actually, two things. One, the animation. I'll give it credit. Animation-wise, it's not bad. I'll give it that. They stepped up a little bit. As I've said before, this is basically an episode on a bigger budget. So the bigger budget shows with the animation and what they do. There are some funny moments that made me chuckle, but like I said before, the majority of SpongeBob now is, the ratio is really off when it comes to hits and misses. So there was a lot of misses. And a lot of points where I'm confused as to where things are going. So, and the live action CGI stuff, I'd say was probably the best part of the whole movie, which is not really saying much because that's basically, you're just like, okay, that's from the trailer, that's from the trailer, that's from the trailer. Yeah, we saw that. I'm sorry, you've kind of already ruined it because you've shoved the trailer down our throat so many times. We already know. It's not that funny now. So, overall, SpongeBob movie, sponge out of water. Don't even bother with it. I didn't even pay to go see it. I just watched it online because I knew I was not going to spend like $6 on it. So, The only thing I can recommend about this, the first movie is better. By far. The first movie is so much better to watch. Like, I recognize that this movie has its problems. And if they could have fixed a lot of them, the movie might have been better. Might not have been great, but it might have been better, I thought. So I'm not going to say that this is a terrible movie. As I said before, it's trying. It has some charm to it. But the only thing that I can really say, I can say three things. Wow. I can say three things. The trailer is better than the movie. You could just watch the trailer and that's all you really need to see because that's the only part that people really care about. I think also that, like I said before, the first movie is a lot better, so you're better off just watching that if you want to show that to your kids. And lastly, the first movie was to classic SpongeBob is now to the modern SpongeBob is to this movie. So all the problems and all the very, very minor good things about modern SpongeBob can be seen in this movie. It's convoluted. It has its moments and it tries, but overall does not really succeed, and it does not really succeed. That's that's really a soft way I can put it, because I don't want to call this movie terrible. So, yeah, I think that's all I can really say about this. So if you enjoyed watching this, or if I maybe lost a few subscribers by saying that this movie wasn't really that great, I tried to put this as best as I possible without flat out saying it sucks. Because it doesn't, but it's not something I'm going to watch over again. So, if you enjoyed this thoughts on video... Oh, God, what is that there? Excuse that. Just ignore that. I don't know what the heck that is in the video. But, yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, thoughts on whatever, like, comment, subscribe. Go check out the links in the description. And, yeah, I think that's about it. See you guys later.